On June 20th, I departed Salt Lake City, headed for Anchorage, Alaska. In Anchorage, I flew on Alaskan Airlines to Nome. Arriving in Nome, we were greeted with fog. In fact, Beringia canceled all flights. We spent the next day sitting in our hotel room, waiting for the fog to clear. Front Street in Nome has changed a lot since 1973. Today, it has hotels, restaurants, and rent-a-cars. One of the reasons for returning to Nome was to revisit the eyrie of BBG exactly 50 years to the day from when I first found it. We were able to locate the eyrie, but unfortunately, no birds were present. We returned to the Nome airport, where we filled up with avgas at Beringia. Gas was $11 a gallon. Prior to my trip to Alaska, I had an accident, falling and bruising my buttocks and hip. This made it very painful to ride in the back of the Super Cub. We had selected a location for our base camp 100 miles north of Nome at Serpentine Hot Springs in the Bering Land Bridge National Refuge. Bering Land Bridge National Preserve is a remote Park Service unit and can be a challenging place to visit. Backcountry permits are not issued. People are able to visit the preserve on their own accord. As we entered the cabin, it was apparent that bears had scratched at the door. The cabins were in great shape, and they are maintained by the National Park Service. They were equipped with cots, stoves, pots and pans, everything that we needed to keep dry and out of the elements. It was a perfect base camp. The hot springs provided a wonderful spot to soak tired muscles after a long day's hike. By Super Cub from Nome, it's about a 100-mile flight to Serpentine Hot Springs. Many people have heard of the lost continent of Atlantis, a mythical land that sank beneath the water of some unknown ocean many ages ago. Fewer people have heard about the lost continent of Beringia, a not-so-mythical land that disappeared beneath the Bering and Chukchi Sea. During the last ice age, 2 ice sheets covered most of Canada and North America. Together, they trapped enough water to drop sea levels worldwide and expose a grassy pathway between Siberia and Alaska. Ice Age megafauna, plants, and people lived upon this new continent and eventually made their way to the New World. My pilot and tour guide was good friend Steve Berg. Steve now 63 years young, came to Alaska from Illinois, where he has now resided for 29 years in Anchorage. He's been a pilot for 13 years, and the only plane he has ever essentially flown is the experimental supercut. Steve has been retired for over a year now and has a Gyrfalcon breeding project at his home in Anchorage, where he lives with his wife Beth. My goal was to find a Gyrfalcon eyrie that would have easy access, allowing me to put cameras in the nest and record the life of the Gyrfalcon. In past years, Steve Berg had located over 40 active eyries, but this year was a different story. Eyrie after eyrie was vacant. We searched and searched, and were finally able to locate our first eyrie. 2 other eyries were found that had birds occupying the cliffs, but we could not confirm that they had young. It was very sad, and we were concerned, wondering what could possibly have caused this decline in the Gyrfalcon population. Site after nest site we found vacant. That was no big deal. We gotta find a bear trail through the willows. The closest place we could land the plane near the first eyrie was about a 1.5 mile walk.
would you have done?
Over here?
Without water?
Made it without it.
Oh, doesn't that feel good? Yeah.
Well, the eyrie is on top of this cliff. I'm gonna hike up around to see if I can see above it from over here and then make a plan. Still can't see it. The nest site was inaccessible, being placed on the top of a pinnacle. So we wished the Gyrfalcons luck and headed off to locate another eyrie. Spotted a gold dredge in the stream below. Nome was among the biggest gold rushes north of 60 degrees latitude on the North American continent. It shared prospectors with both Klondike and later rushes like Fairbanks. It is memorialized in films like North to Alaska. Even today, many tourists are lured to the city of Nome in search of gold. I didn't see anything.
Oh, she's good, guys.
So excited to see a white gyr come off the cliff. We searched and luckily found an area where we could safely land the Super Cub. rocky hillside with about a 600-foot drop below the cliffs. The Gyrs were present, but were not vocalizing, and I thought it was unusual to see both the Gyr and the Jerkin. Most times when I visit an eyrie, the female is there protesting, but the male is busy off hunting. I suspect that the eyrie might not have been successful. We were unable to locate the nest site. Disappointed, we shoved on to look for more eyries. Saddened by the reduction in the number of Gyrfalcons, and I reminisced about other trips that I'd made to this beautiful land. The Arctic of Alaska is a magical place, full of beautiful birds and wildlife, as well as amazing scenery. Another vacant eyrie. What is happening to the Gyrfalcons? We can only hope that it's just a temporary problem, and that the Gyrfalcons will again return to this magical land. Saddened that I could not complete my mission of placing video cameras in an active Gyrfalcon eyrie, we headed back to Nome. With fog closing in, we followed the Kugarok road back to Nome in case we needed an emergency landing spot. I'd like to thank Steve Berg for making this incredible adventure possible.